This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Dominus Labs. Dominus Labs provides two products for individuals, DomNag and DomRevive. DomNag is the first web-based Nike account generator. You can generate Nike accounts using real UK SIM cards to make your own premium accounts. The generator is automatically installed on a dedicated server, allowing you to rapidly generate accounts. DomNag is the first Nike account generator which gives you the ability to generate real activity on your accounts. There are 3 levels you can choose from, and these will help your accounts appear more human-like. The product includes a beautiful billing dashboard from where you can manage your subscription and SIM card numbers, and automatic server deletion, meaning you'll never have to pay extra for any servers deployed. DomRevive is an entirely web-based platform which enables you to re-verify your accounts. You can change the emails and passwords for your accounts, and this too includes instant deployment time. DomRevive also includes human activity features. Check out Dominus Labs on Twitter at Dominus_Labs. Alright, welcome back to the podcast, everyone. It's been like 3 months since we last recorded an episode, but we're back with a bang. Unfortunately, we've lost Chegg. He got ligma, but me, Michael, and ShaShaRealSmoove are here to resurrect the podcast. So, for everyone who doesn't know us, I'm Syed. I own BalcoBot, Cybersol, and Notify. Michael works for me, and Shah is one of my keenest followers on Twitter. So, our topics for this week, we've got quite a vast variety of topics. So we thought we would start with some bot restock methods. Okay, which is the best restock method? So we've had a whole plethora of restocks this weekend. So we've had like, Cybersol hasn't restocked yet. We've had like Balco, I don't even remember who else restocked. But anyway, shit ton of box restocked.
TKS.
Yeah, TKS. Feather, did they restock? I think.
I think they did like a week ago.
Yeah, and then Adept restocked yesterday as well. Anyway, a lot of bots restocked. So, what is the best way to restock a bot? Raffle, scheduled, first come, first serve, or shock drop? Or like short-term raffle, I guess. Opinions?
Who wants to start?
Personally, I like scheduled first come, first serve.
Okay,
But
why?
I think it's like the fairest. Because all the other methods like waste people's time.
Okay, that's fair.
But this, they're not like when to be online. But I think the issue is like all these first come, first serve restocks are like they're favoured by people who like have good Twitter monitors.
Yeah, no, you're right. Especially drops which there's like specific types of drops where if you have if you're in a group with like a really good monitor, like there's just no way you can compete with that, even if like you're like using TweetDeck. But I don't know, have you guys had much success going for like first come, first serve restocks?
Personally, I don't even try for them because I know it's a waste of time.
Oh no.
So, I think like the shock drops are the best, just because like I hate when not cook groups, like just monitors and stuff, when they like promote like. I'm sure we've all seen Restock World all over the place. They beef with a lot of groups and stuff. Like, whenever this happens, scheduled, and they have time to promote it, like, it just gives them so much more free promotion that, like, they don't really need. And then they end up just beefing with the companies anyway. So, like, I don't know. No matter, like, what way they drop it, like, I guess the fairest way would be a raffle because, like, you can't, not going to do anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it's like any other way, it's just whoever has the best monitors, because like some monitors pick up when it's in the location and stuff, and like they do all these weird methods to try to like stop monitors, but they all like get around it anyways.
Okay.
So I think they should just do raffles like what bot did.
So yeah, sorry Michael, carry on.
Wait, sorry. Which type of raffle are you talking about? Like the ones where they have it on the website, or like?
Yeah, like you just got like not where they actually do like retweet to like win or whatever, not like a giveaway type thing, but where like they lock their Twitter page and then it's open for like 5 minutes and you have to put in your Twitter and like they pick like a certain amount of people.
Didn't Hawk do something like that recently, right?
That's a pretty good method.
Hawk Match did it and Whatbot did it.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's quite good. I think if the only thing about that is, you know, when they do that kind of raffle and they don't tell you when they're going to do it. So like, I feel like it would be nice if they said 4 p.m. we're going to be having like a 5-minute window where you can enter the raffle. Like, I think that's the problem I have with like a random raffle is that like you literally don't know when it's going to be, and that's the thing. Like Michael was saying earlier, is that often you're just wasting your whole day waiting for something to restock, and bots love teasing and whatnot. Like Balco love like you know like everyone loves that idea of like generating some hype, and that's fine. but at the same time, like people sort of got to live their life, so it's frustrating. But who was the other? So I think the way Balco did the restock this week, or this time and last time, was we put the password. So we had it had like a password page, and on that password page, you then had a link which would redirect you to the actual checkout link page.
I think that's the best first come first serve method because monitors don't have any advantage for that.
Exactly. So anyone with TweetDeck would have a perfectly good time, doing that as anyone with a monitor. And even if you literally just sort of like kept refreshing that password page, you would eventually get it as well. So I feel like that's sort of like quite a good balance. I'm not just saying that because obviously I work for him, but genuinely I think like I went for that restock too and I copped through it. But
you copped?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, well, that's not. That's completely.
Let's not worry about the ethics, boys. Definitely deleting that from the audio. But no. Anyway, but yeah, I think trying to like get a mix of people, giving equal opportunities is good. But at the same time, you can say that people with the quickest hands in the best groups, sometimes you might associate with them as being really good users who would be able to use a bot really well. Like the last thing a bot company wants is like loads of really washed users who don't know how to use a bot, who end up increasing the user count but reducing sort of the ratio to like user to cop ratio, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal, because that obviously affects like the bot prices and how it's like viewed by the community and whatnot, especially with like so like Botmart do their drop reviews. Who else started? Bot Broker started doing it recently as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just the only other concern I have really.
Yeah, I just think like the trend right now seems to be making first come first serve releases like as hard as possible. I feel like at this rate you're gonna have to fucking spoof your location or something.
Oh,
or, like,
mate, I feel like I've heard that one before.
Really? I know, that's never originally true.
No, I know what you mean though. It is getting more and more. I feel like I'm hoping eventually, like people are giving feedback to bot companies, and I feel like a while ago it got stupidly complicated. Like they were like, follow us on Instagram, follow all 24 support members' Twitters because they might have dropped the password. Like it got to a point where it was ridiculous. So I think now like they're starting to appreciate people just want to get on with their day, especially on a weekend. Like you don't want to be sat in front of your computer all day. Because you already do that for shoes and shit. You don't want to then, if you have a free weekend, you don't want to be doing that for bots. So I think it's definitely a good thing when they're simplified. So to conclude, what is the best way to do it, Michael?
I think I've changed my mind. Like I kind of agree with Shah about the way Whatbot did it.
Okay, it's like scheduled short-term raffle.
Yeah, or the way Balco did it.
Okay.
Either one of those.
Cool. Shah?
Yeah, I like what Whatbot did just because like I knew when it was gonna be. They gave me a heads up. They're like, all right, we'll let you know a few hours in advance, and they gave like a 15-minute warning, and it was like 10 minutes, and then you knew pretty fast, and like, because like I said, if you have good monitors or something like, and you're on your computer all day, then you have a way like bigger advantage than just a normal person on their phone, like at work or school.
I agree. Yeah, I agree actually. I think short-term raffle, like scheduled short-term raffle, is good for everyone.
Yeah.
All right, next topic. So StockX leak. So everyone's obviously aware of this, but I'm just going to recap because it did happen a while ago, but it's still relevant now. So StockX had a data breach. They didn't acknowledge this. It sort of got leaked. When everyone found out, at that point they decided to send an email saying pretty much like kind of sorry, but it wasn't even like that empathetic. They then told us after the point where like you could literally buy everyone's StockX accounts on like the dark web and whatever. People's accounts then got hacked. People for some reason still aren't changing their passwords, or they're like just like adding like a single capital letter on the first letter of their passwords, which is stupid. And apparently people are getting like payments, like fraudulent payments up to like 20k. It's not good. It's obviously not good. It's ridiculous by a company as large as StockX. They hit like $1 billion worth, right, this year?
Valuation, yeah.
Right, okay. Which is significant for a company which hasn't been around for that long. And yeah, it's obviously bad all around. Who do you feel is in the wrong for people who are still getting hacked to this day? Because they have to sort of accept some liability assuming they haven't changed their password or haven't added, you know, different characters and stuff to their current password, right?
I don't know if it's like that simple, because I saw Zero's tweet like earlier today talking about like sessions. Like his tweet was literally, all I ask is you deactivate my session so my account doesn't get hijacked for the 4th time. So I feel like even if you change your password and stuff, people are still getting.
Yeah, because I changed my password when it happened, and then like a week ago, someone got into my account. So like one capital or a few like letter, like it was a completely new password. Like it was totally different.
Right. Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I think what Zeros is saying is like talking about is like what's happening to a lot of people still.
Yeah. So how do you feel like a company like StockX should have dealt with that? So, for example, say that was your company and you had a data breach. What would be the first sort of steps you would take?
They should definitely not have waited a few weeks to tell. Like, I should have manned up to it. You know, like been straightforward and honest, which they weren't. Then another thing that I would have done was I would have done some sort of promotion like right away. Like they did that bullshit 50% off seller fees, which they knew was going to crash the prices on a bunch of stuff, which it did.
Yeah.
So that didn't really help anyone. And
That's
then I would have, before any of that, I would have just like fixed the security and added 2-factor authentication, because there's probably like few handful of people in the sneaker community that could get that job done within a few days, but they're a giant company and they haven't done it in weeks. So like,
yeah, no, you're right. I saw them. I don't know if it was a legit post. I assume it was. It was sort of like they're looking for like a software intern or something, right? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's real. It's real.
Yeah, and like it's taken them what, like a month now to even just put that out.
Inquiry, it's really pathetic.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I don't know. I feel like it's a company that doesn't take responsibility where it should. I don't know. Especially, I don't know. It's just really stupid. I think the whole situation is just really stupid. Like they should have dealt with it better from the start. The way they're dealing with it now, and then they like cut a promotion which had been ongoing for a while, right? Like it was to do with like free shipping or something.
If you buy like a certain amount of things.
Yeah, and then they did like the 50% off seller fees, which is, I feel like they're trying to piss people off at this point. And then they did the whole EU thing where like they started adding duty tax to payments and stuff, right? I don't know. I haven't sold on StockX in ages. So it's pretty much become obsolete now for anyone who's outside the US. But I guess that's sort of up to them. All right, next topic. So Shah yells in a video. He's not yelled in ours so far, which is good. Bots which, oh, that's nice. Bots which blew up. So these are bots which not necessarily like blew up, like came out of nowhere, but bots that have also like come back. So Wrathbot, obviously massively hyped right now. The price is arguably overinflated due to recent hype, but having said that, it's done alright. It's done good, and if a bot does good, especially in the current climate where a lot of bots are just getting killed off just because of the way websites are and the changes they're making, I think it deserves credit. Rug, owned by Simon Rugi, who I just recognise because I see loads of his shit on Twitter. That's been doing well. Balco, obviously the best bot in the game, which goes without saying really. Anyway, so we solved bot protection. solved bot protection last week, which was good, and then cooked like Bodega, destroyed Haven app, and did well overall. And then Qbot. So Qbot's like a new bot. We were just discussing this before we started the episode, but yeah, we kind of want to see a bit more about Qbot before we start gassing it up, but I just thought I'd put the name out there just in case people have had success with it. Are there any other bots which you've missed on that list? Obviously Cyber. Prism, yeah.
Real quick. Oh wait, no, we're getting to that later, are we?
Supreme, yeah, we'll get into Supreme. Yeah, we'll get into that in the Supreme section. Yeah, Prism, yeah, you're right, Michael. Prism's been doing good. They cooked Foot Sites, is that right?
I don't even know. All I know is that the price is like doubled.
Oh wow, okay. I feel like loads of bot prices are just going up. I remember when Cyber initially hit 1k, I think, and everyone was like, what the hell, like there's no way it's broken 1k, but But now you're seeing like, so moving on to the next topic on the bot broker. So Cyber sold for 6K on bot broker, like that's insane. Like think about like the way the game's changed in a year, and like now if you're paying 1K for a bot, like that's sort of like expected. Whereas like if you did that a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, you would have, you know, that would have been like that would literally be like a top of the range bot. Whereas now you're sort of getting like a bog standard bot which works for 1K, or doesn't work in some cases. So yeah, it's just crazy how the market's moving, and I just feel like it's going to carry on going up and up, especially as I think what people thought that as websites make more changes to make it more difficult, more bots will become useless, and that will drive the price of the bots down. I think what instead we're seeing is that as websites become more and more difficult to bot, the bots which are actually successful are just becoming more and more valuable because nothing else can really compete, right? And I think that's just inflating everything. Like, it's not just cyber, like loads of other bot prices are going up. Like, I saw people like posting Hawk like want to sell price of like 8K and shit. Like obviously that's crazy, and I don't know if anyone's buying for that, but still it just shows how much shit's actually blowing up. But yeah, Supreme, go on, Shah.
Alright, so basically Supreme has been pretty interesting this season because first week Cyber like didn't work. Second week it destroyed while Candy and F3 didn't. And then, like, every week it just seems different because then last week, Supreme came out of nowhere and they pretty much cooked harder than any bot. Prices on, like, that used to be, what, like 2K? Like a year ago?
Yeah.
Down to, like, nothing. And now people want, like, 1,000 again. So it's literally so cool, like, to just see some bots just, like, be worth so much money out of nowhere.
Yeah, make a comeback.
And like another bot that you really can't sell it, like, because if they find out you get banned, but like people are trying to pay like $700-800 for a Whatbot invite, and like that's just pretty crazy to me,
yeah,
too.
that's insane. They've been doing really well recently.
$30 a month bot, yeah, and people want to pay $800 for it. It's just.
Yeah, I think people tag on to hype a lot, and I think we've definitely discussed it in a previous episode, but the way that people like link onto hype like really easily, and if the bot does well, like fair play, they did well in a couple drops, right? But at the same time, so did Dashi, right? Was it when bot protection was first added, and like loads of bots just died? It was like Dashi did well for like 2 to 3 drops, and like now you don't really get the same success. So I don't know. I think if you see a bot like Whatbot, not to sort of bash the dev or anything like that, like I completely respect what they're doing, but at the same time, you need to think like people are, you know, offering to pay $700-800 for a bot, which before, like, people weren't even renewing their invites because it just wouldn't hit anything. So I think it's just too much risk involved, especially when we're talking about that kind of money. Like, is it really worth it? I don't know. I feel like it's just that sort of influx and hype, and people are just getting really gassed over that kind of thing.
Yeah, personally, I just can't justify paying more than like 1,000 for a bot. Like that's still a lot, but I could never do more than 1,000.
Yeah. I mean, I just got Ganesh recently, and that was quite a big hit. I split it with a mate, which is sort of cool.
That's a good idea. Splitting with a friend, like if you have a good friend, and you both just run on it. That's a really good idea.
Well, the way Ganesh works is that you can run 2 instances simultaneously, so it worked out quite nicely.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was like, I feel like when you do that, you also sort of negate some risk as well, because if you sort of lose, like you only lose half of what you would have done otherwise. But yeah, I mean, having said that, it gives me anxiety every single time something drops, because I'm just thinking like, shit, what's going to happen to Ganesh? What's going to happen to the price of it? This, that, and the other. Because like the other bots I haven't paid more than the most valuable bot I had before that was probably like, in terms of how much I paid for it, was probably like $325 or some shit, I think, which is like NSB or something on a discount. But apart from that, like that's the thing. Like when you're paying this kind of money for bots, you sort of just get so anxious about how it's performing and stuff. But yeah, anyway, more onto bots. So Dashi, Supreme, not going to lifetime members. So I remember reading a bit about this, but I'm not too familiar with. So if either of you guys are, please feel free to expand on this topic.
Dashi.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So it was like originally sold as a Shopify bot, right? And they sold lifetime copies whilst it was just a Shopify bot.
Yeah.
And then they added Supreme recently, but the only way for lifetime members to get Supreme is to change to a renewal copy of Dashi. which is like $50 a month or something.
Hmm.
But personally, I think it's fair that they want more money for the Supreme part, because when people bought Dashi Lifetimes, they were just buying a Shopify bot.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's fair that they have to switch to a renewal. I think if anything, they should have to pay like a flat amount, maybe let's say like an extra $200 to get the Supreme module.
Yeah, I agree. Because think when Renewal was marketed, it wasn't marketed as an AIO bot either, right? It was just marketed as a Shopify bot still, right?
Yeah.
Like, Dashi's never been marketed as anything which does anything more than Shopify, regardless of renewal or lifetime. And the renewal cost is it's like the most expensive bot on the market, right? It's $50 a month. That's a huge amount in a year. So yeah, I agree. I think it's quite harsh. I think it's quite a harsh move to do that. But yeah, how does Supreme work? Has anyone have they had much success or? But has it even released? I'm not even sure if it's released.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I don't really follow that shit.
Yeah, same. As you can tell, we've really prepared well for this episode, guys.
Shaw, do you know?
I'm not. I think it has it already, but like personally, in my opinion, I think that lifetime members not getting it does make sense because they did buy a lifetime Shopify bot.
Yeah.
But I don't think they should. The one thing I don't agree with is them having to switch to renewal. I think they should just be able to pay like a
Flat
fee
out.
for it.
Yeah.
But it does just come down to like what they did buy and what it was marketed as, because like they never said they were gonna have Supreme in the future, like, or anything. Like, it just kind of came out of nowhere. So it is kind of like in their right, like whatever they want to do with it, you know.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I can understand the frustration of like, because you think like you're a lifetime member, like they owe you like updates and everything forever, but like a lot of people just don't understand how much like time and money and like has to go into this. So if they like make a decision like that, I can kind of see both like sides to it.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely don't think lifetime people should have got it for free. I think you guys
I think they should
agree
just be
with
able
that
to
too.
pay like a fee, and then be able to keep their lifetime. And
Yeah, I agree. Okay, Candy Preem general release. So once again, I saw a tweet about this. I didn't read much into it. If you guys could expand again.
So it's now like, I don't know if they've implemented the change yet, but I'm pretty sure everyone can buy Candy Preem at any time.
Yeah, like lifetime copies aren't going to be sold or released, I don't think, anymore, but there's going to be renewal copies on their site like 24/7. Interesting move.
Yeah.
Because like lifetime copies are still going to be worth money. Available because it cooks, like Candy Preem cooks.
Yeah,
like,
I remember it does.
If a good bot is available 24/7, like how is that going to impact like how other bots approach it? Like Cream selling tons of copies and it doesn't really like hurt anything. Like, what if other bots like do that? And like then we see, I don't know. I don't think Cyber would ever do that, but I'm like, I don't know, like what's like a medium level type bot, like, because A and B is always in stock and it's pretty consistent, but it's just really expensive, like 325 or something.
So how much is Candy Preem as a general release then?
I think it's. That's a good question. I paid like 120 for mine, and it cooked like really hard.
Okay. So assuming if it's still that same price, their website's down, by the way. I was about to check. Assuming it's that same price, then I think that's quite reasonable, right? Like you have, as you said, like A and B is expensive, NSB is very expensive without a discount. So I guess it's sort of justified, especially if it cooks. Like things A and B and NSB, like they're consistent, as you said, but at the same time, think about their member base. Like because they are a general release, they have so many members. So naturally, they're going to have a proportion of members cooking each week, regardless. So I think it's definitely justified, especially for a Supreme bot, and because the amount of stock Supreme gets to, is pretty definitely worth picking up Candy Preem if you haven't already got like a top of the range bot like F3 or Adept or Cyber or MEK or something like that. Okay. Next, so price rise of loads of shoes about 2 weeks ago. So, so a while ago, short while ago, loads of like shoes just blew up in price. Loads of everything, not even just shoes. I think some like bits of clothes as well went up in price a bit. But I read a tweet about someone describing it as like when you enter the final quarter of the financial year, everything goes up or something like that, and it kind of makes sense. Like people are going to school, Christmas is kinda around the corner, and it's like it's a new season, right? So people sort of splash out on things, and naturally the price goes up. But it's quite an interesting trend, and this has happened for like I was looking at trends last year, and a similar thing kind of happened then as well. But it's just I think now a lot more people are aware of it. I feel like next summer, I feel like a lot of people will be cashing out on shoes just to hold into winter.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a good thing to do though. Holding shoes is I think initially people were like, what the hell? But I think now people are truly starting to appreciate like how safe they are as an item to invest in, right?
Yeah, as long as it's not like most Yeezys.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like Jordans, for example. Very good hold.
Jordans are great, exactly. In the right sizes, they just shoot. Like I was looking at, do you remember the Spider-Verses last year? And I remember some sizes were sitting. Like people were like just outright calling them bricks. Like now I was literally looking. It was like 1K for like a pair of freaking Spider-Verse AJ1s, which is crazy. Like they didn't seem that special at the time, but obviously they're doing really well. So yeah, that's a good thing to do. But if you compare like investing in shoes to investing in other things, so say for example you go and buy yourself some stocks, instantly you're at a huge risk because you're facing people who know exactly what they're doing. Everything's down to timing. If you miss like the period like of the optimum time to sell, you could end up with like a big loss, like a lot of people did with like crypto and Bitcoin and a lot of other things like that. If you then compare that to shoes, where you're pretty much guaranteed everything's just going to go up. So like Travis Jordan ones, everyone knew they were going to go up. Even though everyone knew they were going to go up and everyone cashed out, they still went up. Like that's how safe of an investment shoes are. And
it's predictable.
Yeah, exactly. And that just makes it such a safe investment. And I feel like the world just hasn't really appreciated that yet. So I feel like if anyone's going to take advantage of it, I feel like we should do that now. Like this is like the perfect time to do it before like big corporations start understanding how safe it is to do. But yeah, anyway, talking about markets, so we got the bot flipping market, and this has become like a bit of a hot topic on Twitter recently, like different groups claiming that they did it first and whatnot. Everyone knows that I did it first. Anyway, so yeah, bot flipping. So the idea is that someone gives a prediction of a bot to buy. So an example of this was Adept a couple of weeks ago, because I think they just restocked or something. And people were selling renewals for like pretty cheap, like around like $250 or something. And then within like a couple of weeks, it destroyed Buki, and naturally the price went up, and it's now going for like $600, which is pretty sick. And props to the dev because I've heard he's putting a shit ton of work into it, and obviously it's paying off. But yeah, I think the idea of flipping bots is quite interesting. It's very volatile, especially with Supreme bots. Like the way Supreme bots move, like a perfect example is like what Shah said earlier about Supreme. So the way like Supreme moved from like it was obviously mad hype last year, and then people realised it wasn't doing anything against Pookie. Pookie got taken down off Supreme's website last week. It then cooked, and then the price just shot up. Like it's obvious as to why it cooked. It cooked because
Wait, can I just add something?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so at first I was thinking like, because Pookie was off, Supreme's success wasn't like indicative of anything, but it also cooked Supreme Japan, and Supreme Japan had Pookie on.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Has it cooked Supreme
they put
Japan
out
before?
an update.
Yeah.
Wait, what was that, Shah?
They put out an update like the night before, I think, like the drop when they turned Pookie off. So I don't know, it might have been like ready for both situations, because then also he said like version 6.0 is coming out soon, and that's gonna like everyone is like expecting that to like make it as hype as it used to be.
Right, okay. And is that going to contain the Shopify version, do you know?
I honestly do not know, but if it did, I could see like why everyone's so hyped.
Okay, perfect. Interesting. So yeah, I guess fair play then. I honestly thought it just cooked because Pookie was off. But the fact that Japan had Pookie on, that's quite interesting.
Yeah, and they like the night before, like a few days before, they were talking about like, I think his name's Justin. He was like been putting in a lot of time, and then like the fact that Pookie got taken down, like he might have like known something was coming, but like I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, potentially. Well, obviously, they knew something was up because they managed to cook like every single region.
Yeah.
So fair play to them. But yeah, back to the point though, it still proves that Supreme markets are just insane. And when I used to do bot analyst, I like the one type of bot which you could always rely on to just be like going crazy throughout a season was always Supreme bots. So if you're like a day trader or some shit and want to change from like stocks to bots, then there you go, Supreme bots. But I really hope you don't day trade Supreme bots. It's a terrible idea. All right, Strix shut down. So they just like sold their Twitter account, and that's pretty much it. They made some nice graphics. They made a Discord server. They spammed Discord links, and then loads of Twitter monitors picked it up, and then people used to flex on the timeline, and then that's basically it. So yeah, it was sort of like an exit scam before it actually existed. So
no one lost money. They just
lost
time.
Exactly. Yeah. It was just one big waste of time. So yeah, no one really got hurt. So I'm not really going to comment too much on that. Final Mouse. So the iconic Final Mouse made another mouse in July, August, and then it was called the Cape Town. They chatted a load of shit on their website about how they're going to stop bots and gremlins and stuff.
Fucking gremlins.
Yeah, fucking gremlins, fucking everywhere. And needless to say, they didn't stop any bots or gremlins. So pretty much everyone cooked Final Mouse if they wanted to cook it. They made a shit ton of stock. So I remember they like released like an initial wave, then they released a shit ton more or something, I think. I didn't bother going for it because like the import tax to the UK and shipping was going to be like a stupid amount. So I just decided to not use that. And yeah, that's basically it. But looking forward to the future, Final Mouse are making a shoe, which will be interesting. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it's gonna resell. I don't care how shit it's gonna be. I think the shit's gonna resell just because of who it is.
I think the opposite.
Really?
What they did, like what they were doing with the whole like bot commentary and tweeting that we were gremlins and stuff, like that was their idea to like reach out to like our community and stuff, because they knew they were going to be like trying to enter the sneaker community.
Yeah.
But then they just pissed everyone off when they wouldn't cancel orders, lied about stock. I don't know. I just feel like they don't have the majority of the sneaker community support, and without that, you're not going to introduce a new shoe and be successful. It's just not going to happen.
Maybe if the stock's low enough, like obviously.
Yeah, I mean anything will resell if it's limited enough, but if it's any sort of like GR, like they wasted a lot.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It'll be interesting if it's actually just their own shoe, or if they do end up doing a collab with like another brand.
Yeah, it would definitely be interesting.
Yeah, if they do, I don't think it'll be with like a mainstream. I feel like it'll be with like a sideman. What's like a Final Mouse kind of shoe, like an all white filler disruptor or some shit, right? So that's their kind of shoe. They'll probably do that. But yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with that. All right, next topic. So Dream Kicks. So Dream Kicks cooked the fuck out of some shoes a few weeks ago. I think it was it Satin? Oh, Obsidians. Okay. Cool.
Or was it Satins? Yeah,
I feel like it was Satins. I don't remember. Anyway, it was a while ago. But anyway, so they cooked so many pairs. The price absolutely blew up. And then Kicks announced they were going to start doing raffles, which is a shit. So anyway, so the sort of principle behind what this topic is about is sort of the idea of knowing the risks when you buy a bot. So if you buy a bot which is like an AIO bot, like a Shopify bot for example, the risks are generally like quite low. Like obviously they're a bit higher now than they were a year ago, but the risks are generally still quite low. And the reason for that is, despite it doing only one type of site, the number of sites which are included in Shopify are just so vast, and each of those sites have their own independent sort of mindsets as well. So even if, for example, Haven turned into an app, right, but then every other website is still a website, and you can sort of rely on them to not change for a while. The thing is, when you buy a bot which is dedicated to one website, like Dream Kicks, you are absolutely investing in the idea that the bot will work. Secondly, that Kicks won't change anything, which they did. And sort of those are two big risks that you got to take, because you're putting faith in something that you're not really familiar about and you don't really have much control over. So yeah, just be careful when you buy a bot. I've sort of said that a lot today, but I think it's quite important, because a lot of people get into the game, they think, okay, I want to buy a great bot, they save up around 1k, 1.5k, they see a bot which cooks, maybe like Dream Kicks even when it cooked, it was still like reasonably affordable. Like it wasn't above like that 3k mark. It was still like 1k, 1.2k or something. So people could have bought it, and then people have been sort of fucked over. Not due to the fault of Dream, but just the way the websites work.
I think that's just a risk with buying like any bot that only has one site.
Yeah. Well, I feel like Dream not the obviously aside from Supreme bots, but Supreme are different.
Oh yeah.
But Dream's pretty much the only bot company which does that, right? Because they do BSTN and Kicks.
Yeah, you might be right, actually.
Yeah. I can't think of any which do any others. But yeah, it's just a risk. It's sort of you need to be aware of. And then another site which changed to raffles, which is definitely more significant than Kicks, is Adidas. And I think people aren't really happy about this. I feel like on the splash pages, like, don't get me wrong, there was a huge number of problems with splash pages. So bots always, like, from a manual use perspective, bots always managed to cook splash. It took absolutely ages, especially when they had delays. I remember sitting there from like 7 a.m. to like 3 p.m. for Antlers or some shit because they kept delaying it. And then what's the other issue with? Oh yeah, you'll just be there for ages. Like it was continuous, and you just didn't know if you're gonna get it, and you could literally be there the whole time and just not get anything. The benefit of the raffles is that you have like 4 days or like a week to enter. You get notified if you win. You just enter to like 10-second job, and then you're done. But I guess it's only a matter of time until Adidas bots start entering accounts, right?
Yeah, it's already happening.
Okay. What bots are there which do it?
Well, no bots, but like Boro's doing it, and he's been cooking. So he's pretty. I think he was one of the first to do it, but everyone's just gonna follow that because there's no need for Adidas bots anymore.
Yeah.
So all Adidas bots are like probably not gonna like just stop supporting Adidas. They'll probably just literally make it all to enter like the raffle, and like that's gonna be what it is.
Yeah. But then it just gets worse for manual though, doesn't it? Because you're going to be competing with thousands of like bot entries. So it'll be interesting if they do something like how Nike do it. So the way Nike do their things is especially because Nike raffles, they usually last either like 2 minutes or 30 minutes, right? So they actually don't have
2 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't have that much time to sort of decide which accounts are fake and which accounts are real. I guess with Adidas doing like a 1 week or like 4 day raffle, they have so much time to sort of dedicate resources to figuring out which accounts are legit and which are botted. So I guess it could be good for anti-bot, but also with that amount of time, you have so much time to enter as many accounts as you need to. Like bots, if a bot doesn't work for one raffle, they could literally just like fix the issue and then push an update in the time that the raffle's still open, right? So I don't know. I feel like it's good, but it's also bad.
I agree.
Okay, merger of Kaiser and Fleek. So I think it was it Emil from, is that his name? I don't remember, from Kaiser, and Anders like kind of split from what I understand. Anyway, so Kaiser and Fleek merged. They're called Fleek Framework, which is cool. I think it's nice to see two brands merge, especially two which were like, they was both sort of upcoming at sort of like a similar rate. So it'll be interesting to see what these guys do in the future. Still supporting quite a wide variety of EU sites. I think they did well on Foot Locker, I think, a couple of weeks, or like last week or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, that would be interesting to see. We mentioned Nike a few minutes ago. But yeah, Nike changed up. Loads of accounts got killed basically, and then also bots sort of just died for one release, but then Ghost fixed up straight after. So yeah, that happened as well. Sorry, just had a drink. Got to stay hydrated. And then, oh man, I'm rushing through these. I'm rushing through these topics. Sorry, I haven't asked if you guys have any inputs.
Talk about Nike.
Yeah.
Wait, you'll talk about what? Sorry.
I want to talk about Nike, but you can go first, Michael.
No, you go first.
All right, so the whole Nike thing has been like really interesting to me, just because Nike basically, like, there's just like waves of time where they don't do anything, and BNB and Ghost will cook like extremely hard, and then just add it. Like, they left it basically. Nike left everything on and working. It was on for the settings. It worked for I think after that, and then I think Obsidians, they were just like, all right, that's it. We're stopping bots or something. And then they pushed out this whole thing, like changed to their site, clipped, like lost the phone number verification, and then hasn't been work. Like it's worked for a few people, but like Ghost just started working right away, and like figured out like Nike, like everything Nike did, and like I don't know. I just think Ghost is like a really good. If you want like a bot that's gonna go up and is gonna cook, like I don't know. I think Ghost is a good buy right now, just because when it like starts fully working, and then there's like those few months where anything and it just cooks every single drop, it's gonna be worth way more than it is right now.
Yeah, the devs are like probably got to be some of the best devs. Like
Yeah,
overall.
Zeros and his whole team they're really good. They're all really good.
Yeah, Ghost. Yeah, dev team of Ghost is just next level, right? They've been cooking hard since for like a year. I mean, obviously that Nike had those changes and like Nike bots were like dead, but when they came back, they did
They've
come
always
back. Hard,
they've
as you
always
said.
found a fix as like fast as they could.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is impressive to see.
It really is.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with Phantom going forward as well, I think.
Once they add Shopify and update all the other things, Phantom's gonna be a top bot
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, definitely. Okay, so we're sort of nearing the end, so it's time to mention Chegg AIO. So obviously Chegg is no longer with us, but his
He's not dead.
He's not dead. Yeah, he's not dead. But his bot is on the way. I've been seeing some pictures of like the GUI and the shit he's been adding to it, and it looks good. It looks good. I rate his hustle. I think he spent a lot of time during the summer figuring out a lot of things, and that's good for him. And I remember he mentioned about how he'd like spent a lot of time just like running slots and this and that, and how his initial reason for sort of getting in the game was to like learn to dev and stuff, and I think it's good that he's finally finding some time for himself. I think not just him, but I feel like everyone can sort of find a bit of time to sort of self-educate, and going forwards, like that's such a good skill to have, right? Like learning to code at that age, like, you know, he's still at school and whatnot. If you can go into uni like knowing to code and have experience and like a portfolio, like that's insane, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, good for Chegg. Okay.
Yeah, I love Chegg.
Yeah, I love Chegg too. I don't think he loves me though. I mean, maybe he does, but I need to ask him later. Anyway, so shit dropping this week. So we got some Supreme on Thursday. We got some Palace on Friday, standard. And then we got is it the Cloud Whites on Saturday and then Citrons Monday?
Cloud Whites are. I just saw a pic of them. They're beautiful. Holy crap! Like an in-hand pic. They're like blue tint. They're what blue tints should have. These should be called blue tints.
Yeah, I agree.
Tints should look like. Really good. There's a lot of stock, but they're gonna do good. Obviously, I don't think anyone's sleeping, but just in case you're planning on it, do not sleep. Bad decision.
Agreed. Do not sleep on Yeezys.
Really good. Yeah, and Supreme, do not sleep either. Okay. 3 good items this week. If you know, you know.
Are they doing a collab this week, Supreme? I'm so out of the loop.
Yeah, the collab hoodie's good. Then there's like a floral like jacket, like it kind of looks like a jersey, but I think it's a jacket. It says Supreme on the front and back. That's good. Book jacket with like a wool finish. Comes in black and red. Those are the 3 items you need to cop. So yeah, just make yourself some money. Nothing too crazy.
By the way, we hold no liability if everything bricks. But yeah,
I will
thanks,
take
John.
all the liability because it will not break.
If everything bricks,
I need
people are going to be
every
coming for your next
single
shot.
one. I'll buy all of them for retail. Please DM me.
Oh dear, that's a bad promise to make. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we're wrapping up there. But yeah, as always, thank you so much for listening. Please give us some feedback, and next time when we tweet out some suggestions for when you do tweet out some suggestions, please make them productive and not about your penis. Thank you. But yeah. Anyway, so from me, Michael, and Shah, we'll see you next time. I'm hoping to get Shah back on, which will be nice. But
I'd love to. Thank you for having me, boys.
Sweet. No worries, man. Cheers, guys. I'd like to thank Dominus Lab for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. To recap, DomNag allows you to create Nike accounts using real SIM cards and generate human activity, optimizing their effectiveness on sneakers draws. Its billing dashboard permits ease of use and accessibility, and automatic server deployment and deletion allow for rapid creation of accounts and peace of mind knowing you'll avoid unexpected charges. Dom Revive enables you to re-verify accounts and increase human likeness by using activity generators. For more information, please visit Dominus Labs on Twitter.